Look, some of us just prefer it raw. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a lifestyle choice. Recently, everyone has been telling us raw lovers to cover it up, to put some element on our shafts. We'd do more damage that way, they said. We'd be able to tear it up in there and come out a lot more satisfied in the end. The pressure was so intense, I started to doubt myself. Was I doing it wrong all this time? I started seeing the damage numbers element users were doing, and I felt a sense of disappointment in myself, my values, my desires. Are my lifestyle choices no longer appropriate in today's modern society with all the dangers we face? Then I got my mind back on Monster Hunter and realized that Capcom wouldn't leave us hanging like that. They'd make sure to take care of us raw lovers too. So I set out on a mission. Design a raw bow build that does about as much damage as element. A build you could take into any matchup and be confident that you're doing your share of the work. After all, having one build that you can take to any fight is ridiculously convenient. Easier to build one set than 5. Easier to restock and get back out there. Just generally a great option for people who are congenitally lazy. Now, a few things I'll get out of the way up front. This is a spread bow build. Can it be adapted for use with rapid and pierce? Absolutely. Second, it does rely on using iframes to trigger adrenaline rush and blade scale hone, so you'll have to adapt your playstyle to be more high risk if it isn't already. The blade scale hone only boosts the damage of your close range coatings, so you'll have to use those too if you want to squeeze out the maximum damage this build offers. The good news is the armor piece that gives you adrenaline rush also gives you 3 more iframes. So you'll also have a level of safety that you might not have had with your previous build. Another major part of this build is bolt boost. We're taking advantage of super critical distance to squeeze out some insane damage boosts. And the ballistics armor skill extends super crit distance significantly. So let's get down to the details. I designed this build on the Triple B foundation. Bubbly, Ballistics, and Bolt Boost. To start off, Bubbly Dance 3. These talismans are pretty easy to come by, so I hope you haven't been selling them thinking they were junk. They're actually some of the most powerful talismans you can get. I've even started to see speedrunners cheat these in now, so you know they've got to be good. Don't worry, they are abundant, I assure you. So if you haven't got one yet, keep melding. It will come soon. You want as much Resuscitate and Coalescence as you can get because both of these will trigger from the Bubbly Dance. It's okay if you only get 1 point of Coalescence to start. You can boost both of these skills with augments later on. Next up is Ballistics. I slot in a Precise Plus and a Precise Deco to achieve Ballistics 3. If you've got this on a talisman, then you can use that talisman and slot in Bubbly instead. The Lucent Gloves are going to give you Adren Rush 2 and your extra iframes from the Evade Window 3. Crit Boost and Weakness Exploit are here, as is Spread Up 3 and Reload Speed 2, although you might not even switch coatings at all during the quest. To round things out, we've got 1 point in Bloodlust and a point in Chain Crit. But where's the Bow Charge Plus? Good question. And this is the beauty of our bow choice. Lucent Bow does not need it. It has the 4th charge level unlocked naturally, and this is the primary reason why I chose it for my high damage raw build. It opens up an entire level 4 deco slot. Can you build this set with the former raw spread champion Chameleos bow? Sure, but the other thing Lucent Bow has is close range plus coatings. The attack is just a bit lower on Lucent, but augments will bring that up by 10 once you get those unlocked. You'll be able to upgrade its Rampage slot 2 to match the Chameleos bow's level 2 slot. Notice I haven't even done this yet on my bow, and I'm still putting up awesome damage numbers. You are sacrificing the nice coating options that Chameleos bow offers, so yeah, there's trade-offs. I'll likely modify my build for use with Chameleon Bow at some point. After all, I use Chameleos for about 99% of this game so far, but that's not what we're doing today. It's Lucent's special day. So enough about Chameleos. Now for the armor. We've got Archfiend, Lambent, Gore, and Storge. Pretty straightforward. The Gore and Storge are much easier to augment than the Archfiend and Lucent. So when you get to that point, you probably want to start with those two pieces. Yes, save scumming for augments is a thing. We've got all the details on our Discord. How do you actually use this thing? First, you'll need Herculean Draw on one scroll and Bolt Boost on the other. Bolt Boost has a much longer timer, so you'll be refreshing Herculean draw a lot more often. Super critical distance is indicated by this squarish reticle. With a little practice, you'll start to get a feel for where you need to be. After all, you had to do this with regular critical distance too. It's no different of a learning process than when you first figured out critical distance. And the range with Ballistics 3 is pretty awesome. One question I get asked about Super Crit is, how do I stand right in front of the monster's head, basically riding his head, doing dodgebolt melee attacks and dash dance power shots, and still maintain super critical distance? The simple answer is, you don't. Let's be real for a minute. If you are able to keep the monster immobilized for 90% of the quest and can do that dash dance combo on him consistently for 90+% of the quest, then you don't need my help. You've already won the game. Congratulations. Your quest times are all under 4 minutes and you've gotten a few TA records under your belt, and you're definitely watching the wrong video. No, this video is about exploring a slightly different playstyle and taking advantage of some really cool armor skills and switch skills. The second thing you'll have to get used to is the dodgebolt counter. To activate blade scale and adrenaline rush, you technically don't even have to hit the dodgebolt counter. It's just a convenient way to do it while adding in another layer of safety and damage. So every 30 seconds or so, you'll have to hit at least one good dodge bolt to keep the blade scale hone and adrenaline rush triggered. Don't worry, you'll be doing it far more often than that, as long as you're using the instant dodge bolt playstyle. I've detailed that in my video about how to charge up your bow. In short, it works like this. Just before an attack, you hold down the left trigger and then press in your desired direction and press B to dodge bolt. This gives you 2 charge levels, activates blade scale hone and adrenaline rush, and does some damage too. As you're dodging and not an instant before, you will then press and hold the right trigger. This will maintain your charge and allow you to aim and shoot by releasing the right trigger. Follow up with a power shot or another dodge bolt or anything you really want at that point. This playstyle takes a bit of discipline, and it's also a great way to practice your dodge bolt timing. Now, what about Constitution and Stamina Surge? Is this still garbage? Yeah, for this build, they are. Fighter level 4 and one of Dash Juice or Go Fight Win or Peeper Sex will do just fine. If you like your Constitution Stamina Surge playstyle, go ahead and use it, but I can guarantee you Fighter 4 and Dash Juice are sufficient, especially if you're grabbing a few stamina birds on your way to the monster. A sentiment I see on occasion in the comments goes something like this. My speedrun set works better for speedrunning than your set does, so why should I use your set? Prove to me that it's better than my speedrun set. Yeah, and while 99% of you understand the logical inconsistency with that viewpoint, for those of you in the 1%, just to be clear, this is not a speedrunning set. I have no interest in building speedrunning sets. I have no interest in competing in speedrunning. Now, something this set doesn't have, dereliction. And there's a reason for that. I actually get hit on occasion. Dereliction is great for people who don't get hit or for people who have the iframe cheat installed. I'm not one of those people. You probably aren't either. If you like it, use it. You don't need my permission or my approval. Another thing this set doesn't have, Mail of Hellfire, and there's a reason for that too. The lower resists and defense are just too much for me to deal with, so I choose not to. So there's not much else to say other than I'm doing some really nice numbers again with raw bow. I had to take some time away from it and build 5 awesome element bow sets before I could really understand where I wanted to go with raw. And so far, I'm loving it raw. Let me know what you want to see next in the comments. Click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and you can get advanced copies of builds that I'm working on our Discord server. Stop in and say hi. We've got channels for all the different weapons, builds for everything, and experts on all sorts of topics. And nobody to judge you or talk down at you. We don't always agree on things, but that's actually a sign of a healthy community. See you soon, and keep enjoying it raw.